Hey, I'm Juliet. When it comes to the sport of kings, I only trust one source, Past the Wire TV.
You don't want to you don't want to get involved in that. And another thing to really consider, you don't get paid any more for picking the winner of the Kentucky Derby now than you do on the first Saturday in May. And regardless of who you land on, come the Run for the Roses, there is always value to be had and or created or found in the Kentucky Derby with those big pools and all that recreational and silly money and drunk money and just ridiculous money in the pool. In this game, you have those who guess and those who know. At Past the Wire, we keep it grounded, but we play for scores, luxury, top shelf only. We're talking Cartier, Louis Vuitton, AMG, Louis Trey, only the very best, the kind of wins that make a difference. We are breaking down the Kentucky Derby Pick 5 and including the Kentucky Oaks, because gentlemen never forget the ladies. Our all-in-one interactive PDF will be released by 5 p.m. on April 30th or sooner. Join our private Q&A that same night at 7 p.m. Let's build this together and far surpass our best results ever. And those are pretty good. Don't wait. Secure your spot now at pastthewire.com, and I will see you there.
The two of them coming down to the wire. 4K on the outside, and 4K to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Welcome to Kentucky Derby Radar, Thorograph numbers on the biggest prep weekend for the Kentucky Derby. We have the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct, the last Wood Memorial at Aqueduct. We've got the Bluegrass at Keeneland. Keeneland opens today. The Bluegrass is tomorrow. What else do we have? We have the Santa Anita Derby out at Santa Anita tomorrow. So there is a lot of action, a lot of the Derby picture kind of coming into shape, and we got it. We got it covered. We're going to go into all of it. You saw the Kentucky Derby seminar commercial. We are ready. We are rolling, and you can sign up now. We're going to limit the reservations because we're going to make it a really special, great experience for our attendees. Give us a moment, and we will get right into this show, which I think you are all going to like.
Think horse racing is too complicated? Think again. And they're off. Every pro was a newbie once. Meet DRF Newbie, the mobile tool loaded with daily racing form data and the power of DRF AI. Get the insights you need fast so you can play smarter and feel more confident. DRF Newbie, horse racing made simple. Try it free today. Visit newbie.drf.
Now, if you haven't been checking out our CHR reports, you got to be crazy. They've been phenomenal. And I mean that literally, phenomenal. they're killer. We have the 3 Derby preps right on the website. Anybody could go there and see them. We got the Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, and the Santa Anita Derby right up there for you to see. If you're a Track and Trips member, which you probably should be, we got a bunch of other races Friday and Saturday. Keeneland, Santa Anita, Aqueduct, you name it, all the big stakes from all over the place. And this is a pretty big Saturday. We've got the races today from Keeneland up there as well. And interestingly, not only are there some very strong plays, there were some very strong plays against. And if you're reading the CHRs, and I stress this to everybody, don't just look for the suggested wages. You got to go in there and read it all, because there's such information in there that there are certain things you may want to bet on and certain things you may want to bet against. It flags all kinds of stuff. It all comes from up here, put into a computer and dissected, analyzed, taken apart in ways that the human brain can't. Yes, the human element gets factored into our wages. That's very important. Don't ever lose sight of that. But these CHRs are phenomenal. Nobody's doing anything like it. And I don't think anybody will or can. But that aside, we'll get to the matters at hand here. And we're going to change things up just to break the monotony. It's coming to the end of the Kentucky Derby radar season. This might even be the last show. So we're going to look at the PPs first. Then we're going to look at some Thorograph numbers. So we're going to switch it around. I'll try and go through it pretty quick. Last Wood Memorial at the Big A. Big A, I grew up going to Aqueduct. Some of you did. Some of you didn't, but it used to be a really nice place. From what I hear, not so much anymore, but things change. We'll run through the field quickly. Napoleon Solo, he's got that monster champagne. He's got a nice race before that, but he came back and really, we talked in the earlier shows that, we didn't trust him coming back in the Fountain of the Youth. Where had he been since the Champagne? And he just didn't do any running in that race whatsoever. They got Paco Lopez named on him in the Wood Memorial, so they're not backing off this. They're trying to march forward with him, but I'm not a believer. That was a very fast race. We know that in the Champagne, but you're going to have to prove to me that you progressed at 3 and that something is not majorly wrong. So he's a pass with a question mark for me. Talk to Jimmy. He looks way over his head, in my opinion. He's got that big win in the Withers. I get it, but I'm not sold on him either. Right to Party. He's a horse that looks like he's improving. He gets certainly a better post than Chad's horse Iron Honor on the outside. He's a maybe to me. If the pace collapses, he may come running. It's Ken McPeak. We've talked many times about how he's a tough guy to figure, especially in these big races. Steele, I like his first race at Gulfstream. I think it's tough to come off the pace like that at Gulfstream. I like Mott runs him back in a race like this off that one race. I'm going to say show me again, but he's another one. Him and Right to Party are two that I look to be running late, but maybe not enough to get the win, but get a piece. Ocelli takes blinkers off, traveling around, looking for Derby points, looking to become a Derby contender when he just may not be one. Minor inconvenience. New York bred, kind of looks like a decent horse, but good enough to win here. I don't know. This is not the greatest field in the world, but I'm not sold on him. Albus, light bulb went off last time, showed some potential at 2. Comes back at 3 at Tampa, mile and 40 yards. I don't know. That race was with Lasix. Comes off Lasix now. I'm going to say prove it with him. Courting. Courting is a horse I thought had some ability. Takes blinkers off for Todd Pletcher. Never really delivered on it. I didn't like his race in the Risen Star at all. There was not much to like. They did put the blinkers on him, I guess, trying to get a little bit more focus into him. Didn't seem to work. Bravaro, another one I thought at first was going to be able to run a little bit, puts blinkers on. I'm going to give him a slight puncher's chance, but I'm not really in love with him. Red Zone Runner, I don't know, the big race come in the slop. You know, maybe something clicked, maybe not. Parks, slop, not for me. The 11, Otinho, blinkers on. Very interesting horse to me. And we'll know a little bit more when we look at the Thorograph numbers. But I liked his maiden win a lot. I thought he really duked it out and fought it out. I don't know what he beat. I didn't like his race in the Withers that Talk to Me Jimmy kind of got away from him. The field got a little bit strung out. It's Chad, and when Chad doesn't back off them, and I know he lost a couple of Derby contenders, so maybe he's being a little bit aggressive, but he don't run them where they don't belong. I pay a lot of attention to Otenho. I think he's a win candidate with the blinkers on. Chad's pretty good adding blinkers. A lot of you give me a hard time because I like a lot of Chad's horses. It's not that. I come up with who I come up with. He's a great trainer. Turf, dirt, doesn't matter the surface. Points for these big races. A lot of times we're previewing these big races. I'm going to land where I land, and I'm going to not let those kind of things influence my opinion. But Otinho looks like a player in here. Chad put Dylan Davis on him. He's put Dylan Davis on a couple of live horses in the past. Now Dylan's coming back from an injury. I think there's a good shot he's trying to put him on some live horses to help him out getting started as well. Butane, Bob's horse. A lot of people talk to me about liking Bob's horse. I don't like Butane in this spot. I don't like how he finished in his last two races. So I'm not on him. Iron Honor is obviously the horse to beat. The 13 hole is tough. I don't like him a lot more than I like Chad's other horse. So I think Chad has got the best shot to win the Wood Memorial with one of those two horses, Otinho or Iron Hana. And I think that the noisemakers that can maybe get a piece are Bravaro, Steel, and Right to Party. So those are the ones I like in the second flight. But my top two are Otinho and Iron Honor. Now, let's see in reverse order if a Thorograph changes that opinion. And you never know, it may. Napoleon Solo, we got the 8.5, the 2 1/4, then the 8.5 in that race I thought was a dud. Talk to Me Jimmy got a 2 3/4 in that monster race last time in the Withers. It was a big move forward off the two-year-old races. I tend to look for him to regress. Right to Party, 10, 8 1/4 going forward this year, but not good enough for me. 9.5 for Steel for that one race. And Right to Party, when I say not good enough, I'm talking about for the win, but I think he can get a piece. The number's going in the right way. Steele's got a 9.5. I expect him to go forward again. Tough to win, but I think going the right way. Ocelli. Ocelli's kind of a fringe number horse. I just don't like him off the past performances, but 7.5, 7.5, 8 3/4. So he went the wrong way last time. But he's running in the range. Those 7s and 8s suggest that he might have some ability to move forward. Minor inconvenience. This New York bred is moving in the right direction. 12 3/4, 12 1/4, 7 3/4 this year. Runs back quick. Went significantly past the 2-year-old number in the first start at 3. I look for the regression. Albus, even with that race last time in the slop, only got a 12 3/4, which is similar to his 2-year-old numbers. Not fast and or good enough in my opinion. Courting was better at 2 than 3. All right, we know he takes the blinkers off and he put them on for that start. But at 2, like I said, I thought he had some ability. 9 3/4, 9 3/4, 7 1/2. Looked like he was going in the right direction. They put the blinkers on. He runs at 10, taking the blinkers off. Maybe he'll go back to where he was, that 9, 7, 8 range. But I don't think that's going to be fast enough to win. Bravaro, 9 1/2, 7 1/2 at 2, comes back with the 7 1/2 at 3, then regresses to a 9. If he bounces back and goes past that 7, which I suspect, I'm looking for a 6, 5, 4. Probably not good enough to win, but certainly good enough to make some noise. Red Zone Runner, got that 3 at Parks last time in the slop. I still say prove it. Looks like a bounce. Otinho needs to get faster. But like I said, that maiden race was tough and gutsy, and Chad's horses can jump up, does put the blinkers on, but he's got 10 1/4, 10, 10 1/4. So he's running nothing but 10s. If he runs another 10, he's not going to make any noise here. But with the blinkers on, I think he's going to go forward. And I think he's dangerous at a price as the other Chad. Butane looks like he's going the wrong way for Bob. 6, 6 at 2, and then 4 1/4, 6 3/4, then at 10 last time out. Now runs back. I can't back him. Iron Honor on paper just looks too good. 3 1/4, 3 1/4. He runs back to that or goes forward off that, even from that outside post. He's probably the winner, probably the most likely winner. He's just got to overcome that post. And I think his biggest threat may be Chad's other horse. Clip that. Okay, moving right along. We're going to go to Lexington for the Bluegrass. And if I'm going fast, I apologize, but I want to try and get through this so I don't take up everybody's time. And also, we want to get the show up there. We're late this year. I've been doing all kinds of things, as some of you know. So let's rock and roll. PP's Talking. Talking is another one I thought was going to be a runner. He's got the rail in the Bluegrass. Rosario rides him back. Tampa Bay Derby. Couldn't get near the Puma, Further Ado, and Canaletto. Further Ado's in here. I mean, second off the layoff, he's eligible to improve, but I don't know. He did show more speed last time than he has in the past. He'll probably revert to the closer that he truly is, but is that the right thing to do at Keeneland in the springtime? I don't know. I'm kind of off his bandwagon. Class President at 2, we don't have to talk about because I do believe he's scratching. Great White. Great White comes off the Turfway Park synthetic. We love the angle. It overachieves. We know that, but the horse does not look good enough, even with that Battaglia win, in my opinion. He is first-time dirt, so you know, there are question marks there. He is a big price. He's a volatile out of an Uncle Mo mare. So, you know, he's got some things going for him at a big, big number. He would not be a shocker. I'm just not going to go there. But would not be a shocker. He's one of those 15, 20 to 1 shot horses that if they win, you can't say, how did this happen? First time dirt, bred for the dirt, has some bottom to him. Comes off a track that produces winners when they get off it. So, you know, he's a potential bomb that can make some noise. Clip that. And I apologize for that, but it helps when we get these little highlight things. Reagan's Honor. A lot of hype. lot of people on the bandwagon of this horse, and I could see why. Looks like a really, really nice colt. Honor AP. Oh man, I was alive for a lot of money, over 100 grand with him in the Kentucky Derby that he did not win. I think Authentic won it that year. He never got in the race until much too late. He did come home faster than anybody, but I needed him for the pick 6 and the pick 5. Couldn't do it. I was alive with him and Sol Volante. Sol Volante for like, I don't even remember how much. A lot of money. But Reagan's Honor. Okay, Reagan's Honor by, Honor AP. Coming off some nice wins. It's got a nice cruising speed. Maintains that good pace. No knocks on this horse whatsoever. I think he may have to, adjust his style to sit a little bit, or maybe run a little harder early to clear. We'll see, but he's definitely a legitimate major contender in this race. Creole Chrome, Louisiana bred. Prove it is what I say. Not for me. Further ado, very dangerous. He's got that monster race at 2 we've talked about on some of the other Thorograph shows. I think he runs back to that. It's all over. But he did run good in the Tampa Bay Derby. Couldn't win. Might have needed the race. I think he goes forward. I think he's a major player in here. Ocelli, blink is off. I don't know whether he's going to run here in the Wood Memorial. I don't think it matters. I don't think he's going to win in either spot. Monstrosity. If he wins, I certainly won't. Otinho. If I think he's got a shot in the wood, I got to think he's got a shot here with the blinkers on if he goes. He's got blinkers on either spot that he winds up in. I think this is a tougher race, though. I give him a bigger shot if he stays in New York, but he'll probably go here, I guess, because Chad's got the other horse in New York who is the most likely winner. Let's see if the Thorographs help us at all in this race. Hopefully they will. Ashbat, I hit the wrong button. It's not the first time I've hit the wrong button. Talking. 7, 7, 13 in the Remsen, and then comes back with a 9 in that race at Tampa. Class president we know is out. Great White, the horse that I said was interesting, gets even more interesting. 13, 13 and a half, 7. He jumps up another 5 points. He's in the mix here, and those horses coming off Turfway, you got to watch him. Reagan's Honor, 16 and a quarter, 10 and a half, 3 and a quarter. Moving forward like a nice colt. And looks like he'll move forward again. And if he does, off that 3 and a quarter, very tough to beat. Creole Chrome, 8 and a half, 8 and a half, 8 and a half, 6 3/4. Phenomenal pattern on this horse. Really, really good. Pattern suggests he's going to go forward again, and he doesn't have to go forward a lot to be a contender. I don't like him so much on the past performances, but if we're going to just isolate him on Thorograph, the horse looks serious. Further ado, again, 8, 10, that 1 negative, regressed to the 5 and a quarter, comes back, runs a 5 at Tampa. Very eligible to go forward now. If he goes forward past that number or equals that number, the only one who can make it a race is probably Reagan's Honor if he goes forward off of that 3. But these two both have the potential to run a very fast, scintillating type of race to stamp them as Derby favorite range, honestly. Both of them have that potential. Ocelli, we talked about his pattern, I believe, we talked about his past performances in his pattern too in the Wood Memorial, right? It's okay, but I didn't like I said, the 7.5, 7.5, and the 8 3/4 kind of slowly going the wrong way. Probably, that's his range. Monstrosity, 11.5, 11.5. 10, 9 at best, another 11.5, maybe even regresses a little, doesn't look fast enough. Otinho, we talked about in the Wood Memorial also. He's got those 10s. The blinkers on are going to have to move him forward, but I do like that race when he broke his maiden. The horse has got some fight in him, and I think he's got some forward movement in him. So, again, Further Ado and Reagan's Honor are tough to get past. Great Shark, or is it Great White or Great Shark? Could be either one because it's kind of the same thing. A Great White is a shark, right? Great White, sneaky dangerous in my book anyway. But Further Ado and Reagan's Honor are both on the numbers. Tough, and they both look like they're going to go forward. And that makes them uber tough. Santa Anita. The Santa Anita Derby. What do we got in the Santa Anita Derby? We got a couple from Bob, my man. You know that. I like one of them a lot, and I like one of them a little. Let's start with Cherokee Nation. Cherokee Nation, ran in some stakes as a maiden. And finally, the light bulb went off last time, going a mile with Lasix. And he drew off and win by 10 lengths and run a really, really big race. Monster race. But a race that very well might scream regression. But he looks like a contender. It's Bob. Gets Florent Giroux. Let me see, El Jaramillo rode him last time out. Juan Hernandez, Bob's probably first call rider right now out there anyway, winds up under 2. Potente, who I happen to like a lot tomorrow. Potente, $2.4 million they paid for this into mischief. But when he broke his maiden, I thought, a lot of people thought it was just an okay race. I thought it was a really, really nice race. I loved what I saw visually the day that this horse broke his maiden. And when he came back into San Felipe, I thought he was going to go to the lead. He didn't. And I know he didn't beat much in the San Felipe, but that's not what really opened my eyes even more about this horse. Didn't go to the lead, came from off the pace, and was able to really dig in late and run down another horse. We've talked before about off the pace sprinters going long the first time and not having that same kick. Well, here's a horse that had speed sprinting first time and then came off the pace going long the first time. And I get it, didn't come home that fast, whatever, some knocks on the time, some this, some that. Whatever you want to say, to buy a lightly raced, it's Bob Baffert. His horses can jump up and run monster races. And this horse looks to me like he's got a lot of potential. And somebody must have thought something if they paid 2.4 for this horse. I like everything that I've seen from this horse. I think he's underrated. He's going to get bet here, but he's not even on anybody's Kentucky Derby radar. And when we did the show with Steve Haskin weeks ago, I talked about this horse being one of the under-the-radar sleepers for Bob because nobody was talking about him. And I think he's going to be a handful in the Santa Anita Derby. And I think he's going to stamp his ticket right to Louisville. Vitruvian Man looks a cut below. Robusta, that's the horse that Potente had to run down. He's okay. He didn't run down a complete slouch. He's okay, this horse. He's not a monster. I think Potente's got his number and he'll beat him again. And it's even a more favorable setup in every way. So happy So Happy was a horse I feared in the San Felipe, but I had a big reservation about him that day, and more so this day. He's a run happy. I know the run happies are overachievers. He's out of a blame mare, so I know there's distance there, but a run happy, mile and an eighth, going for the Derby, not sold. Um, wasn't in love with how he finished his last race either. So I like Potente better than him. Start the Ride. Looks a cup below to me. Intrepido. Intrepido could be a little scary. Now, I'll tell you something about Intrepido. I was at the Breeders' Cup last year. A lot of people were talking about this Intrepido. A lot of sharp handicappers liked him, gave him a big shot. He didn't run at all, but big speed bias. Tough to make up ground that day. Got to consider that. So I'm going to toss that race. Now he comes out of that race and he runs a bang up second to Plutarch, who's a horse I think has a lot of talent. I think Plutarch is really good. Unfortunately, he's off the Derby trail, but Plutarch is a horse that can absolutely run and has a lot of ability. This horse, has some bottom. He's 2 for 5. He's got that nice second last time out. That was off the layoff. He was much closer to the pace than he'd like to be. And I think Intrepido is the main danger to Potente, who I like a little bit better in the Santa Anita Derby. Clip that. But I think that those two are going to be the ones that are fighting it down the lane. Of course, you gotta respect Cherokee Nation as well. But I like Potente better, and I fear Intrepido more. So let's see if the Thorograph numbers put any clarity to that or help us. Again, what did I do? I pressed the wrong button. Okay, Cherokee Nation. Like we suspect with that 10-length win, 14 and a half, 7 and a half, 12 at 2, 7 and a half, 8 3/4, 1 negative. So that 10-length win was a 1 negative. If it wasn't Bob Baffert, I would say absolutely going to bounce. He can absolutely regress and still win this race if he only goes to a 0, a 1, a 2, even a 3. But it's Bob, and with Bob, you don't know that they're going to regress. So look out. Potente, great pattern, 7, 2 1/4. Forward move, which I suspect, 0, 1 negative, 2 negative, puts him right there with Cherokee Nation, and I think he's got a lot of upside. Vitruvian Man, improving, but has to improve way too much in order for me. And the last race kind of takes him out of it altogether. So, that 9 and a half was okay at Churchill Downs, but he regressed off that to a 13 and a quarter. Does come off Turfway Park, but pass. Robusta, great pattern on Robusta. This year, 8 1/4, 8, 1 1/4. Might regress off that 1 1/4, but that's a strong number. And if he repeats that or stays close to that, he's a contender. So Happy, 3 and a half this year, 5 3/4 last year. Great pattern on the pattern. You gotta like him. On the past performances, I don't. On the replay, I don't like the way he finished, but on the numbers alone, you got to respect him. So if you're gonna ride Thorograph on strictly on Thorograph, he's dangerous. Start the Ride. What do we got on Start the Ride? We got 18, 10, 7 and a half. Nice number, nice pattern, going the right way. But again, we got some super fast horses here. So from that 7 and a half, he's got to go 5, 6 points forward to get into contention with these. Intrepido, 11 3/4, 9, 6 1/4, 7 3/4 in that against the bias race at Del Mar. Then he comes back and runs a 6 1/4. this is one of the reasons why I like Potente so much more than him. He's just got to improve a lot more than Potente does to get in contention with him. Clip that. And I don't know that he's going to be able to do that. So for me, after the Thorograph numbers, my position doesn't change. I think Potente is the horse to beat, and I think he can certainly earn his way into the Kentucky Derby. And, he'll be a 3-star horse in the Kentucky Derby, and he may not be the only one. We may have emerging market, Chad Brown's horse in there with all 3 starts as well. So interesting Derby this year for sure. Lightly raced horses seem to be ruling the roost. Renegade has really stepped up, especially now with Paladin and Canaletto out. But we'll have a lot more clarity. We'll definitely do another Derby radar show. We'll have to. But we'll have a lot more clarity after these 3 races tomorrow. If you don't have a spot yet in the Kentucky Derby seminar, grab one. I'm telling you, it will be worth it. You will be glad you did. It's going to be killer, and there's going to be a ton of information. We're really going to break down these races and go after some nice shots. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll close with this: the sharp edge. You don't know what that means yet. You may think you do. You don't. I guarantee you don't. But you are gonna love it. Going to be interesting. We are going to have some fun. We're going to hopefully make some money. And then we're going to look at something brand new, kind of, at least new to us together. And I'm going to make it fun. So we're going to have fun and try and make money. Does it get better than that? I don't think so. So with that, have a great weekend. Go out there, try and get them. Now, you know what to do, okay? Everybody here knows what to do. If you go to the track, if you're betting on your phone, if you're betting on your tablet, when you're driving, wherever it is you're going, after the races, I want you to look like this.
Here comes journalism, here comes sovereignty, and they square off, heading to the final front. Sovereignty wins the Derby!
You're watching Past the Wire TV. Hit that like button and subscribe to Past the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.
We have put up the announcement for, yes, our Kentucky Derby seminar. We're holding a limited amount of spots because we are going to make this a great experience for everybody. So I suggest get your reservation early while the price is low for what you get. And you're going to get a ton. We're really going to dissect that late pick 5 on Derby Day, closing with the Derby. We're going to include the ladies because gentlemen never forget ladies. We are going to include the Kentucky Oaks. We're going to have everything. We're going to have our PDF on each race. We're going to have CHR information. We're going to break down pace and who's running fast early and who's running fast late like you have never seen. We're really going all out. We kind of changed the game last year with the new format for the Breeders' Cup. We're taking it to an even new level. This time around, it is not too early. The information's on pastthewire.com. We'll put it in the write-up to this video and check it out. Knowledge. It's not free. You got to pay attention.
Hey, Hey, I'm Tatiana Ryan, the host of the Businessy Podcast, and you are watching Past the Wire TV, your home of all of the most reliable and the most fashionable information for all of your horse racing wagering needs. Now, go get your bets on.